In a market where everyone's saying AI bubble, take a look at the massive scam or the massive pyramid scheme or the massive, what's another one that's really popular? Um, the implosion, the collapse of AI or what have you. But there's a few things I think they should consider. In a day and age where most of the things that we're seeing come out as far as technology from these companies is technology that human beings have been looking forward to for literally thousands of years. And it's coming out in the last few years. It's a massive spend. And, if you look at the EV market in 2008, 2009, would you bet against Elon? Yeah, 99% of people would say it's not going to work. And then you have Tesla become one of the most successful car companies in history, the most successful car company. Then you have, the same thing with the internets. It always happens. Bitcoin in 2020, 2017, everybody's saying, this market is done. It's just all a fad. And then those same people that saw Bitcoin go down to $3,000 and they didn't buy, see Bitcoin go to $100,000, and when now they're even saying, no, it's overbought and it's probably still 90% off. And so the same thing is true with the AI bubble. You have to look at what people call as a bubble, and you have to look at the real value that's being provided. In every instance, the companies that were providing the most value to the marketplace ended up succeeding and ended up making it through and having explosive gains through 2008, through the dot-com bubble, through 2020 when a lot of people are scared around the COVID time and that market dip, and exponential gains happened. Same thing is true now. If you see an AI bubble scare, every other YouTuber or whoever is making a video about how it's this cyclical thing of how the companies are connected, it's all going to come falling down. There's a difference between something that is cyclical and that's something that is transactional. Cyclical is something, or let's say washing machine effect like this. You could look at it that way, or you can look at it in transactions. And transactions will show that for every cause, there's an effect. For all of these news articles that go out around an AI bubble and things like that will affect the market. But the same thing is true if you're looking at the cause and effect of, if a company is providing value and getting purchased by selling their product to other companies, and the other companies actually buying the product, then that's a transaction. And why is it happening? It's not happening for no reason. It's happening because the company is providing value to the other company. And so that's exactly what you see with the AI market today, is people getting scared, panicking. And there's a few factors that I think should be considered. AI bubble is one narrative, but how do you explain that same impact into the airline market, into oil and gas markets? Why is there extra volatility over in the real estate market or in construction or blue collar markets? Every market is seeing a dip recently. Every single market will also surged dramatically since April into the summer and into the fall. And every market that's dipping at this moment most likely will recover in the next few days, weeks, or months. And so it's like there isn't uh, anything other than the strong attention grabbing headline of focusing on AI in that it's a bubble. But if you look at the reason why you're seeing so much content around those things, it's because of the attention grabbing headlines and the kind of hook that gets into you as a person that's a moment ago was seeing AI as, and maybe you still are, the most innovative technology to come about in the last 100 years, or if ever in human race. And then you go from that to those same people, everybody telling you that it's a bubble and it's all going to crash down. And that's very emotional and it's very attention grabbing. It'll make sure that you most likely watch the video. And if those news outlets or those videos or creators of those videos have the intention to get your attention and keep your attention for monetary gain, or they know that emotional hooks will get you to watch more, then potentially that's going to be the headline that you see everywhere. And you haven't seen any videos from me saying really, is AI a bubble? because frankly, I think it's a conversation that um, 99% of people are focusing on, but it's like what they should be saying is, are we just getting started? Like, actually, I think the AI market is just getting started. And when you look at the the numbers and the facts of what's going into it, the same people that, let's say, persevered through the dot-com bubble, or through, let's say, 2008, or we're comparing, big market drops right now, are the same people that are doubling down on AI during this time. So you could look at people like Elon Musk, for example. You know, everybody was like, "Oh, the internet's over." They were building PayPal, sold PayPal. 2008. Oh, all car and automobiles are going to be, done. Nobody's going to, like, loans are collapsing. This isn't going to work. And then you got Tesla. And so same thing, Larry Ellison. You can look at, founders, Jeff Bezos, dot-com bubble, he lived through all those different phases of the market. You can look at all the big companies, and if you look at those different founders from Google, Microsoft, or what have you, all of them at this time don't see AI as a bubble. They see it as, a foundational building of, what do you look at? If I look outside my window right now, down at the skyscraper that's being built, as I'm in Buenos Aires here visiting, we're at an Airbnb. There is, at the top and all around the building that's getting built, what does it look like? It looks like absolute chaos. It's like you got bags of concrete and bags of, weights and rebar and all this trash all over the place around the thing as they're building it. There's a bunch of workers, everybody's running around. Somebody looking at that might say, "Oh, that's chaos." And that's what people are looking at with the AI market. They're looking at AI and they're seeing all these things happening. They're seeing all these companies basically building and working together, and they're saying, "That looks insane. This isn't this. It's chaos that's happening, and it's not sustainable." But yeah, you could look at that. But if you're smart, you look down at the building, you see all this chaos down here, and you say, "Oh, well, I mean, this is how the foundation is built. It's not going to look pretty before, it gets better. It's going to, just like, when you want to clean your room or clean your closet, do you snap your finger and it's automatically clean? No, you got to make it probably look worse before it looks better. Same thing with remodeling a house. And you're going to see that in every new market. And in AI markets, it's such a massive market. You got so many different things going on. People are classifying all of the chaos that's happening as a bubble. And in reality, it is just basically a bunch of people building infrastructure for what is going to be a very, very innovative time, the most innovative time, a golden age of technology in the next few years. And so there's certain markets that will see benefits from that. You're definitely going to see the 3 stages of AI in software. So the LLMs, you're going to see kind of this RAG approach with this agents, kind of the agent side, which is like the software side of the AIs. And that's where you're seeing ChatGPT. Google's Gemini is also integrating with Siri soon. That's a big deal. And then you got Claude and the coding. People are doing vibe coding apps, and you're seeing AI basically do a ton of work, research, even in our own AI application. It's going through all of the financials, it's going through the charts for you, and it's doing research for you. Like, AI is in the software side. That's the first phase. But then you're going to get into phase number 2 outside of the agents, which is going to be this stage of robotics. And robotics is going to be the stage at which you're going to have things like self-driving cars more often. You're going to see more self-driving cars, which you already see, for example, with robotaxis or Waymo. I was just flying through LA. And when we got there, they had Waymos all around, driving people around, no driver. When we went to Scottsdale for a quantum computing conference for D-Wave a while back, when my wife and I got off the plane and we're walking there, the first thing we see is this car drive by without a person in it. Like, whoa, they got self-driving cars. You're going to see more of that. The other thing I just recently saw, you see this in San Francisco and LA and in Miami, you'll see this. is these robots that are doing like the DoorDash. Right now, if you call a DoorDash or you call an Uber Eats, meaning like people deliver your food from any restaurant around, or it could be a grocery store. Someone goes on their motorcycle or on their in their car and they go and they buy it with the funds provided in the app, and then they bring it to you, and then you have your food, right? Well, what, for example, Serve Robotics is doing, which we're just seeing that company, that's in the robotic stage of they have this little cart that drives there. They get the food from the place, they put it in, and then it drives back to the person's house, notifies them on their phone, hey, we're at your house. Person walks out from their house, their apartment, their skyscraper, or whatever, and they get their food out of it, and that's the robotics delivery. If you think about AI and you're like, oh, well, AI is just a bubble, there's somebody that's doing that task that's getting a couple $100 a day, for example, to do delivery, maybe. Whereas, the robot is doing it. That's actually creating a ton of value in society. And also, that person maybe doesn't have to do the delivery. They can do something else and be more creative in another area, or start a robot business or something else, because the demand for the robots are going to increase. You're going to see that. Now, the second thing is in that robotic stage is big tech, or not even big tech, big tech for sure, like Optimus robots inside your home. That's something like real robots that walk around, do your dishes, do your laundry. That's a big step. Robots that pick your kids up from school, maybe, or a car that you summon to go pick your kids up from school, whatever. But the other side of the robotics is the industrial side. And so the industrial side comes in the form of, for example, delivery. Right now, you could have like a Amazon truck, and on top of the Amazon truck, they'll have a drone that picks up the food, deploys to the car, drops the food at the desk, and then comes back onto the car or something. The robotics side. And so you also have Symbotic, which is a company that works with Walmart. And what most people don't realize is the same way that, for example, malls transitioning out of that phase of everybody walking into the mall, and you see malls closing down all over the world and then actually getting bought up by, let's say, Amazon, turning into a warehouse. Same thing is happening with, for example, like Walmart and Target and Albertsons and your big stores. Walmart, for example, has a partnership with Symbotic, and less people are going into Walmart. More people are ordering from Walmart to have the thing delivered to their house. What does that mean? Well, there's a company, Symbotic. More and more of the store is becoming a warehouse. Less of it is becoming the actual shopping. More is becoming a warehouse, and they have these robots that go around, inventory, grab the right stuff off the shelf or in the place, and then put it in the truck or the delivery to go out in e-commerce to where it needs to get shipped to. All automated. Inventory is all kept track by the software and the robots and the AI. That company's been doing really good this year. And so there's a lot of drone tech. There's aerial stuff, cars, of course. NVIDIA is doing almost all those industries. And that's the second phase. Now, the third phase that we're going to get into, which I think is going to be one of the biggest, is actually the human integration. And you can see, like, if you look at Amazon, or not even Amazon, Elon Musk, and you look at how he's integrating, started with self-driving cars, then Optimus robots. What's one of the other things that he's working on? It's called Neuralink. Neuralink is the thing that you stick on your head or whatever, and it can tell what you're moving, and you can move things just with your thoughts. Imagine you're looking at a computer screen. You don't even have to look at it, or you can look at it, you're just thinking, and you can move around and click on the computer screen, or you can order food from the computers or just from your thoughts. Like that's the human integration side. And you see companies gently going that way. Some good examples are like Meta glasses, the Optimus glasses, or Oculus glasses, or Ray-Ban glasses, Snapchat with the glasses. And it's like a glass screen, but holograms in front of you. It can analyze what you're looking at. It can change the view of what you're looking at. And you can even, rather than having a big screen in front of you with a monitor, you could simply be looking at nothing, and everybody else looks like you're a weirdo looking into space of nothingness, but you're actually looking at a monitor on your computer and you're dragging things around and they look like you're pointing in the air, but you can see your whole screen and you're moving and you're looking around and moving things around. That's gently going towards what is the human integration. And so the third step, or the third phase, which will be absolutely crazy of AI, which we're not even really through the first stage right now, is going to be the integration of AI into everyday living for how people like choose to integrate it. Now, as somebody that's like right now, I'm in an apartment. We're in skyscraper looking out, very industrial, very city. I live in rural foothills of California, where I grew up with chickens and goats, and I have 5, 10 cats to make sure there's not rats on the property, and a dog that keeps the mountain lions away, and a garden, and having to get wood for the fire to keep your home warm. So like I'm pretty familiar with the normal way of living fully kind of like self-sustainably. But I do think that there's certain instances where you look at some of these phases and it's just like it's a system of tools. It's humans getting really good at building tools. We go back thousands of years and we see different tools and certain tools that look very innovative. Humans are just taking tools to a whole nother level, and they've allowed this new system to basically build tools by them speaking it into existence. And that's what's happening with AI. AI is able to build based on what people say. It can't necessarily come up with better ideas than humans, but it can synthesize and take all the ideas that humans have and be able to integrate and pick which might be the next best idea given all of the information that it's given. And information is then translated into action. And so if you wanted to assume that like AI is a bubble, we're going to see the market crash, that's one way to look at it. But I think we're actually in instances when the market pulls back, you're looking at a great opportunity to be a part of the investment in some of the amazing new technology and actually build generational wealth during this time. And so there's certain companies, like I could look at on my chart right now, and I'm seeing, for example, APLD is down here 9%. That's a data center company. They're probably going to be in a really good place a couple years from now. You could see the different companies that are building data centers. TSSI, IREN is another data center company. A lot of them selling back down, kind of breaking their pattern today out of their overall uptrends in certain ways, selling off. And I'm not going to lie, like it hurts when you look at your portfolio and it's down 4%, 10%. But whenever you have red days like this, it's such an important time to look at opportunities. A lot of our best investments have been when we've seen dips down in the market. And you could see certain industries, yes, they've been trading at premiums like quantum. We have long-term positions in quantum, been to many conferences. We even met some of the CEOs, and we're very deep in quantum, I'd say. And you see big companies like Google, NVIDIA, and Microsoft moving heavily into quantum, but it's going to be a few years before it's fully integratable. And so before they're generating revenue, before they're providing more money or more value, they won't see a lot of money. And I can tell you though, that as somebody that's running a tech company right now, we have an AI software that is able to look at all of the different projections for an individual stock. In this case, it's NBIS. This is a company in the data center space. And we run analysis with OpenAI and Gemini and Claude and Grok all at once, and we get projections. I could tell you, as using these AIs, they've been super helpful, super valuable, and we're even utilizing some IonQ and Rigetti for projections, taking the projections that are given to us, let's say for the next 3 months on the stock NBIS, and we're going ahead and we are getting projections. So projections from all the different AI models, which are fairly bullish on this stock. And then we can actually get Rigetti or IonQ. These are quantum computing companies. We're actually working on integrating as soon as possible integrating this technology so we can take all the confidence scores for the future projections, for example, the 3-month, the 6-month, or what have you, and then we can get Rigetti to run the analysis and give us which time frame is it most confident in, which time frame based on all the confidence scores does it find to be the most likely to hit. And you can see in this case it's saying that with 71.9% accuracy or confidence, you could say, it is projecting the 1 day to be correct, and the 1 day for NBIS is actually to correct up into that or continue up into that $89 price point. I don't know where it's at right now. Let's take a look. It's currently at 87, so it's anticipating a bounce towards the end of the day, which we do kind of see a little bit of a bounce here. It's been selling off, and you see it bounce a little bit. And we'll see how the AI performs here as the projections roll in. So I'm really looking forward to more companies in AI. In fact, I'm actually looking at this as a buying opportunity. And while the market's down and our portfolio's down, it doesn't look that favorable, we are looking for opportunities right now in the market. So that's kind of my approach. I hope that makes sense, and hopefully it's helpful for you to kind of see a different perspective. I think we're in a golden age right now, and this is a day and age that humans have been looking forward to for a very long time. And now is the time to be capitalizing on it. If you want to join our live sessions, we have them every day at Market Open, Monday through Friday. It's in Stockmates. There's about 28 millionaires in there. There's a lot of good insights. Lawrence was talking CTM. We saw some really good insights on that company as we're following it. We have different targets for the week. If you ever want to see different companies when they're reporting earnings. If you want to talk with beginners, there's some there. There's also some millionaires there. Here, as I mentioned, about 20 or 29 millionaires here. And then you can always send me a message. But you get our daily live trading sessions Monday through Friday at Market Open at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So right when the market opens, it's not here. It's a different link. It's a private link you get access to, like Stockmate here. Or you can join in on our daily live trading sessions, see what's going on in the markets, see our entries, and see my exits. And again, it's the second link in the description down below. So I appreciate you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.